Greetings, Guardians, my name is Byfear. Yeah, you can hear the voice, and yeah, I'm not doing great. Voice is recovering, but it will be a couple of days before you see anything again. What I will tell you, though, is that today's video is unscripted, and it's just a quick update, because, yeah, it's an interesting time. I've thought that this was kind of an important point at which I should sit down and talk with you guys about what's going to happen in the next few months, because there is a lot of uncertainty about what's going on. We now basically have a 4-month period without a major Destiny release. We of course have the 30th anniversary bundle coming out in December, but I don't think that's going to be as heavy in terms of content and story as people might be expecting. I think it's going to be more about the dungeon, the little tidbits that we get here and there. Maybe there'll be a video on Yalahorn to make, but there's not a lot going on. However, that's not to say that I won't be busy. All of you guys who follow me on Twitter know that I'm constantly talking about my schedules, and that is a little bit of what we're going to do today. Because, you know what? Yeah, I don't always update you guys here on the channel, so yeah, this is an entire video dedicated to that. The first thing I think that I should go ahead and say is that behind the scenes, with all the content that is being done, I am still working on Dynasty. For those of you who do not know what Dynasty is, which I know is a few people, because occasionally I get asked the question, I'm going to go ahead and leave a card up somewhere in the top right, and hopefully you guys are going to be able to see that, and hopefully that's going to link you to it. It's a video explaining it, but long story short, consider it as the complete story of Savathun and the Hive, and we're doing a lot of animation for it. There's really cool stuff that I want to be able to show you guys in the next dev diary, which hopefully should be sometime end of November, early December. I'm going to see about what happens, but yeah, there's a lot to be done on that front, and honestly, when it comes down to it, we're still in the trenches with regards to a lot of the work, but there is good progress being made on every front, whether it's on the art, or the animation, or the voice acting, or the scripting, or anything in between. I think we will be able to make our February deadline. It's definitely one of those things that's going to be a big challenge. It's also one of those moments at which I'm sitting here and realizing that in projects like this, yeah, you absolutely end up leaving things on the cutting room floor. And no one likes that, but by that same token, it's kind of just necessary. Which, man, I wish that wasn't the case, but by that same token, I feel like we're cutting out a lot of bloat from the project as time goes on, so that's really good. Spoiler alert, by the way, for those of you who are interested in that, February 15th is the tentative release date. We're not entirely sure about what's going on with that, but again, that's just because we're all the way through and we still need to keep making it and we need to finish it up. Anyway, that work is going on in the background, but as for the rest of the season, there's still a lot that we're doing. So, what does that include? Well, we have some immediate videos in the next week or so, which were supposed to be published this week, but again, I was ill. And yeah, those last few videos on this stretch are going to be kind of things like recaps of the season, and a video about Who Are the Lost, and how Mara got back, which is one really big video. That was actually a 10-page video, about 4,500 words in that script, so yeah, hopefully I get to record that for you. There's also a few other videos here and there, and by the end of October we also have 2 sponsors that we need to go ahead and talk about, so that's going to be fun. We've got video stuff coming in on that. That's going to be very exciting. So yeah, intrigued, and I hope that that's all good with you guys. However, that's not all that we've got. We have this really great opportunity right now to be able to take a look at the last few months and over this last year and see what's been released, and to really nail down things that we otherwise would have missed. And that means that we're going to be taking a look at things like Beyond Light, and we're going to be assessing what's going to happen with everything that we actually weren't able to cover. That includes a raid lore video or two, and that of course means that we're going to be covering the Deepstone Crypt. However, that's not the only raid I hope to cover. It's a lot, but I'm hoping I can do both a Deepstone Crypt and a Last Wish raid lore video. I do not know if I will be able to, but that is the goal. The reason for that is because we have this golden opportunity to go ahead and cover that stuff. We can talk about it at some point soon, hopefully, and that's all realistically going to start when we have done our series on each of those respective kind of topic areas. So, for the sake of Deepstone Crypt, I want to finish the Clovis Bray series that we started quite some time ago, and for the sake of Last Wish, I want to finish the new series I'm going to be starting on the lore of the Awoken, and talking about their story generally. On that note, those raid videos, again, they're meant to be the capstone videos of things, and That means that we have some new series we need to talk about, including a lore series on the history of the Awoken, as well as lore videos on Micah Abrams, which is a lore book that I have not been able to cover for the longest time because everything seems to get triaged constantly. I know I also have to finish off the Clovis Bray series, and then there's a few other tidbits here and there. So for example, I know that I wanted to do some big character videos. The other really big project alongside the two Raid lore videos, I think, is a video on Mara Sov and Sieur Ido, two very important characters in the lore, and I would be amazed if at some point we don't see Sieur Ido return. In fact, if we ever do touch on the Awoken story again, I'd be astounded if we didn't see Sieur Ido return in some fashion. I mean, hey, we'll just have to go ahead and see, but yeah, not completely clear on that one. Either way, you're gonna get a nice chunky lore video on Sieur Ido and Mara Sov. Expect that. That is something I'm not willing to negotiate on. That will be in the schedule, because foundational lore, but also it's something that I know I've promised some time ago. Of course, there are other things going on the channel, and another series that I wanted to cover was the Basics of Destiny series. We're gonna go for about 10 episodes on that. Just, again, normally I would do an episode a week, and hopefully that takes us through a decent amount of time, and I know they don't get the greatest of views, but I think that a series like that is really important for something foundational, and you know what? I'm happy to go ahead and take a leap on that front, considering that they will get better views over time as more people go ahead and come along and recommend that playlist to people. Ultimately, that is my goal, is to build out that playlist, to have it there, to sit on the channel, so that if ever someone doesn't know what's going on, they can just be sent to that particular video, and then boom, we're there. And hey, maybe after having watched the 1 hour thing that they start with, we can go ahead and do something even more. We can get people expanding their knowledge on each individual topic. That's the hope, at least. We'll see. There are also, of course, other things going on, including T-Slape. T-Slape is something that we're still going to be recording as time goes on. From time to time we'll be doing things. I think we might have missed the boat on the Festival of the Lost recording, which means maybe no Yeetus Deletus, but that's, I don't know, that's still kind of up in the air. It's realistically about making sure that schedules can align for recordings, and it's also about making sure that we're all recording something that we are all currently in this place where we want to play. So for example, right now everybody has sort of disbanded a little bit from Destiny, and in their spare time we're all playing different things. When those moments coalesce and we're all playing something together, I think that that's going to be a point at which we come back and make more T-Slape, but ultimately the plan is to make more no matter what happens. Also, so many people have asked. Yes, I did not forget about the Scrank Gang lore video. I will make sure it happens. There's stuff going on. I just need to make sure that I can actually get it edited and decent together. I won't lie, there has been a little bit of a procrastination thing on that, but I think that that's justified a little bit based on the fact that more stuff kept on pushing things back in the schedule, and there is a sort of breakneck pace at which I've ended up working. I'll make it a dedicated thing at some point. I'm definitely committing to making sure that happens before Witch Queen, because at some point that's just going to become a joke. You know, it's one of those moments at which it's been pushed back so much that it becomes its own meme. And Books of Sorrow Part 4 is still occasionally a meme that I see on Discord, so yeah, let's hope that I don't have to respond with a Dynasty-sized video for just some silly memes about the Scrank Gang. For those of you who don't know what the hell that is, maybe we need to go ahead and jump into Bob's stream together a little bit more. Myself and Bob Eric Ham, as we usually do, we tend to go ahead and stream together from time to time. I'm going to go ahead and leave his link down below in the description. It's a lot of good fun, and most of the time it's just very nice and chill. So if you guys do want some time to enjoy some company off stream and also jump in with his stream community, that's a nice place where you can find a little bit more of me. It's very much the T-Slape vibe without any kind of scheduling conflicts, and that's quite nice. Overall, there is a lot of stuff going on, and my schedule is busy and packed, and I am going to try and write a whole lot. But at some point in January, I do want to be able to try and take a break. I want to make sure that I can get everything done and get it all together, but yeah, there's still a lot of stuff going on and a lot of things that need to be finished up. So I will make sure that we are in that kind of position to go ahead and move forward with all this content that I want to make, but you know, I'm also going to try and be kind to myself because, you know, there is a terrible tendency that I have, which is burning myself out just before a big release comes. And that tends to happen because I want to capitalize on the big release by making a big project, you know? This is how the complete story of The Darkness happened and kind of consumed all of my Beyond Light viewership, and this is also kind of how a lot of stuff happened with Destiny 2 Forsaken, you know? I tried to make a whole ton of stuff happen before that expansion. I did a sponsored series on Dishonored 2 and a whole bunch of other things, and I don't regret doing any of that because it was great content and I feel very proud of what we put out and very proud of what we talked about, but ultimately it did leave me in this place where I sat there and I was like, I don't have the energy, and I kept trying to push myself and it put me in a very bad place. This is something that historically has happened, but it's not necessarily something that I feel I can always avoid. This is one of those strange moments of being a content creator, I think, which is simply trying to understand when it's time to make hay and when it's not worth it because the sun isn't shining so much. So I am going to keep to a sort of 4 video a week schedule where I can. The idea, of course, is that when everything is going at full tilt, we will be going and doing daily content. That'll be at the very beginning of Witch Queen. That'll be at the moment when we're really jumping back in and everyone wants to know something new every single day. And that's going to be the point at which we really start making our hay. I will be working non-stop at that point. But there's other stuff going on in between. There are other projects that I want to do beforehand. And right now, I want to be able to square all of that away and get it all sorted. The hope is we can do that. I'll see what I can do. The number 1 priorities are kind of listed out there. I think at the very top of that list, I know I want to finish Dynasty. I know I want to get that done. It's basically the continuation of the Book of Sorrows, and it is my white whale. So, assuming I do kill my white whale, I can go home peacefully and never jump on the metaphorical boat again. You know, and we will see what happens. But it's also a huge opportunity to really raise the bar for the kind of content that you guys can expect periodically on this channel. I do think that that's what I want to do. I want to try and make one big project every year and just see what I'm doing. And if everything continues to work out like that, phenomenal, fantastic, we'll keep doing it. But yeah, ultimately that requires you guys to still go ahead and jump in and watch and to still be excited, and, you know, we'll be responsive to what happens. If something doesn't work, we won't do it. Simple as that. Anyway, it's a little bit of a ramble here at the end, but hopefully that gives you guys a vague idea of where I am. I'm going to try and recover so that next week we can jump back into videos as usual. This has been very much unscripted, and hopefully it's just something that gives you a little bit of clarity of where we are. But for the most part, yeah, expect some videos coming at some point soon. I think we will try and round something out so that we can get something out there on Sunday. Failing that, we should be back to the normal schedule on Monday. If not, we'll have something like a 3-video schedule for that week. We'll see what happens. Either way, that's going to be it from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, go ahead and hit the like, but if you really want to go ahead and support all of the other stuff, subscribe, comment, yada yada yada, ignore that this time. If you really want to support me, and if you haven't heard of Dynasty, go ahead and look at the video that was linked. It'll also be linked down below in the description. If you have heard of Dynasty, go ahead and tell your friends. Go ahead and let them know, because I'm really excited to deliver something to them that I think is going to change their minds about the way that Destiny's storytelling can be. You know, I really do feel like we'll break ground on this, and that there's something truly unique here. Either way, I'm going to leave that for the moment. Thank you very much for watching, and as per usual, know that your viewership has been quite enough for me, and that my name is Byf. Prodacia ad Astra. I'll see you Starside.